Hey guys, so today I'm here for the monthly recommendations, and today we are doing a mashup video. What's going to happen is I'm going to be giving you one recommendation for every theme that we've done throughout the year. So there's 11 themes and I've got 10 books to recommend you. There's one theme that I can't recommend something for because I've never read a type of book like this. Anyway, I'm going to give you a whole heap of recommendations and let's just get into it. The first recommendation is the best first book in a series, and I'm going to say Poison Study by Marie V. Schneider. This first book is pretty much perfect and then the series just goes downhill from there. I read all 9 books. I don't even know how I accomplished that because it was so hard, because I read the first trilogy and then I waited a year. Then I read the next trilogy about a different character and then I finished up by reading the rest of the first series. So it was like the first series is kind of 6 books and then it was like a lot going on, but this first book is actually amazing and I really love the characters in this book, but then everything sort of changes as you keep going through the series, but this one's good. Next recommendation is a graphic novel, and I've only read like one in my life, and that was Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, and I really did enjoy this, and really the only reason I bought this is because everyone was talking about graphic novels and I'm like, I better have one graphic novel, and this is the one that I picked. But I liked Nimona as a character and it was really fun having the two guys with this like enemy hero thing going on, and I really did enjoy it. Next recommendation is for duology, and of course I'm going to say The Wrath of the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. I love these books and this world and Charizard and Khaled, and like this is like such a good retelling of 1001 Nights, and this is just one of my favorite stories anyway, and I just cannot pass up recommending this. But if you like retellings and you love slow burn, hate to love romances, here's your book. Next recommendation is Mental Health Representation, and I'm going to say Eliza and Her Monsters by Frances Sapir. In this book, the main character has anxiety and the main love interest has selective mutism. This book is very good because it talks about fandom life a lot and the different way fans can react to things, and having someone with anxiety have to respond to fans in such an intense way. It's a really interesting book and I really did enjoy this story. Next is a book that BookTube made me read, and I'm going to say Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, because I never really wanted to read this book, and then everyone and their mother would mention this on BookTube and I was like, oh my god. Held off for a long time, but then I'm like, oh my god, I actually should read this. I wasn't the biggest diverse reader back in the day, and then this was like one of the first ones that I really like got into. I still need to read a lot more diverse books because I have a lot sitting on my TBR. I just haven't gotten to them, but this is one that definitely BookTube made me read and I'm so glad it did. The next thing was audiobooks. I just don't listen to audiobooks. Like, I don't want to like spend my money on them when I really just want to own the physical books. So I don't listen to audiobooks, so I can't recommend one. This is a book worth a reread, and I'm going to say The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and I have reread this book, and this is the book that you should reread, because if you get to the end and you get confused about who is who and what's actually going on, it is so worth the reread to be in the right frame of mind to understand what's going on. Reading it the first time, I got everything wrong and I was so like, god, what's going on? And then it was a while later when I read the sequel, so I reread the first one and it made a lot more sense and it made it really enjoyable to keep going on with the next 2 books. So I think it's definitely the best way to read this series. I just love Leah and she's just a great character and this is a great story. Next is underrated books, and I'm going to say Frostblood by Abbeyleec. I do see people talking about this book, but just not enough. It is tropey and it is like one of those series, but so good for like the slow burn love to hate relationship, and just it's like so great. Like, I mean, yes, the last book was a bit like, oh my god, I read this like a few years ago and back then I was really for it, but still really enjoyed this world of having like, you know, fire magic and ice magic and this big war going on, and it's very interesting. Next is marathon worthy series, and I'm going to say The Selection by Kira Kaz. These books are so easy to read and to get through that you could marathon them in like a week, like literally. There's so many good characters to root for and to get behind, and the story is so interesting and so many shenanigans happen in this world, and it's just one of those addictive series, I feel. This is Witchy Reads, and I'm going to say Spellcaster by Claudia Gray, and this is one of my favorite witch related series. I just really love the way that this world works, and there's so many different side characters that are really important, and there's so much magic and like depth into the series. Because thinking back on it, I'm there like remembering all these things. I was like, oh, this happened and this happened with this character and all this was going on. Like, there's witches and then there's other things and there's curses you're trying to break, and there's demon and villains, and it's just amazing. And lastly, to recommend a book with relatable characters, I'm going to say Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, because I relate to Kath so much and I feel a lot of us do as well. Like, I would much rather just stay in my bed most of the time than do anything social. I still love going out and doing stuff with my friends, but I totally get the just not wanting to go anywhere thing and just sit down and read a book and just be in a quiet environment and not in a really loud busy environment. And I would be so concerned about going to live in a university campus like all on my own. Like, that would just terrify by me. So those are all my recommendations for this month. I can't believe it's December and the end of the year, and we're gonna have another year of recommendations, and I am excited to see what other themes we get, because this is the first year where I was kind of a bit like, I can't do some of these. So I'm excited for the new year, and excited for recommendations, and excited for books. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!